What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, your home for sharp analysis, real numbers, and the best baseball insight on YouTube. We've officially hit championship series territory, and Monday, October 13th, 2025, gives us not one but two heavyweight matchups. Game 2 of the ALCS between the Seattle Mariners and Toronto Blue Jays, followed by Game 1 of the NLCS between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers. The stakes are higher than ever, and these games are where momentum becomes destiny. Let's dive right into the matchups and the numbers that actually matter. We start in the American League Championship Series, where the Mariners and Blue Jays square off for Game 2 at 5:03 p.m. Eastern on Fox and FS1. The projected pitching matchup features Luis Castillo for Seattle and Trey Savage for Toronto, and this one is shaping up to be a fascinating contrast of experience versus youth. Savage may not have a ton of innings under his belt, just around 19 and a third combined between the regular season and postseason, but every single one of those innings has turned heads. Toronto has won all four of his starts, including that 13-7 postseason blowout over the Yankees, where the rookie delivered 5 and a third shutout innings with 11 strikeouts. That's big-time stuff under playoff lights. Seattle, on the other hand, rides their veteran ace Luis Castillo, who's had a rollercoaster season. His August era north of 6 raised plenty of questions about command and consistency, but he turned things around in September, pitching 29 and a third innings with a stellar 2.45 ERA to finish strong. That momentum carried into the division series, where he was sharp in the 6 scoreless innings he threw against Detroit in Game 5, a 3-2 marathon win for the Mariners. Still, Castillo's earlier struggles against this Toronto lineup can't be ignored. Back on April 20th, he gave up 10 hits in Toronto and constantly pitched under pressure from traffic on the base paths. That's a red flag when facing a lineup this disciplined and powerful. The concern for Seattle here isn't just about Castillo's command, it's the overall fatigue factor. That 15-inning thriller to eliminate Detroit in the ALDS wasn't just emotionally draining. It chewed through every arm in the bullpen except Bryce Miller. Seattle's relievers have been stretched thin, while Toronto has had days to rest, reset, and reload. The Blue Jays are at home, where they've been elite all season, and the Mariners are a few games below .500 on the road. Combine that with a young arm like Savage pitching with swagger, confidence, and plenty of rest, and it's hard to fade Toronto here. The Blue Jays are sitting around -165 on the moneyline, and that feels justified. The setup screams Toronto. Rested, dangerous, and ready to capitalize on a tired opponent. My pick. Toronto takes Game 2 and keeps the momentum on their side heading back west. Now we move to the National League Championship Series, where things get even more intense. It's Game 1 between the Dodgers and Brewers, an 8:08 p.m. Eastern start on TBS, True TV, and HBO Max. The projected starters: Blake Snell for Los Angeles and Jose Canana for Milwaukee. The Dodgers enter as heavy favorites, listed at over -200 to take Game 1, and sitting around +110 to win the World Series, clear evidence that oddsmakers believe this team's path just opened wide. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. The Dodgers were built for this exact moment. Their bracket draw lined up perfectly. The Phillies-Dodgers NLDS was the de facto World Series qualifier, and now Los Angeles finds themselves against a Brewers squad that's fought like hell but is simply outgunned in the rotation. The injury to Brandon Woodruff was a major blow, and while Milwaukee has heart, grit, and a dangerous lineup at home, the starting pitching depth just isn't there. When you're sending Jose Canana to the mound for Game 1 of the NLCS, that tells you how thin things have become. Canana pitched admirably during the regular season, but the underlying data raises real concerns. His expected ERA and expected metrics point to major regression potential, and this Dodgers lineup is the worst possible matchup for that type of profile. Los Angeles feasts on lefties, and with the power they've shown from the top to the bottom of the order, it's a dangerous night to be pitching to contact. On the other side, you've got Blake Snell, the classic, Ace-level stopper, who can flat-out dominate when he's dialed in. Snell's strikeout stuff plays anywhere, but it's worth noting that Milwaukee does a really good job limiting strikeouts and forcing long at-bats. That could make Snell's pitch count a storyline to watch. He's a strikeout-dependent arm who sometimes battles command, and if the Brewers can lay off the high fastball and force deeper counts, they might find their opportunities. Still, when you compare these two sides, the Dodgers simply have too many ways to win. The Brewers have been one of baseball's best home field teams, and they're scrappy enough to make this competitive. But when you step back and look at the bigger picture, the Dodgers' combination of elite starting pitching, relentless offense, and postseason experience makes them the clear choice. With Snell on the hill and that LA lineup seeing a soft toss lefty, I'm taking the Dodgers on the moneyline in Game 1. So, to recap Monday's baseball card, we've got Blue Jays over Mariners in Game 2 of the ALCS, and Dodgers over Brewers in Game 1 of the NLCS. These are the moments when every pitch, every mistake, every at-bat can define an entire season. October baseball doesn't get better than this. That's going to do it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, drop your predictions in the comments, and let's see who you're rolling with: Blue Jays, Mariners, Dodgers, or Brewers. You already know the drill. Stay sharp, trust the numbers, and keep riding the edge. This is Beyond the Box Score, and I'll see you for the next postseason breakdown.